Fort Worth, Texas, home of the 2024 CrossFit Games. A week that has been unlike any other in CrossFit Games history. Provides at least a small escape though as we come inside the arena to compete together as a crew for our final team event of the 2024 Games. With Annie Sakamoto, one of the original Nasty Girls, Lauren Smith is our reporter down on the floor. My name is Joel Godet. Glad you allowed us to be with you all weekend long as we crown the fittest team on earth. Peak 360 had to fight his way up the leaderboard, a win in event 6 this morning, second event win of these games, the first team to win multiple events. Noah Olson's squad from Miami closing a 40-point gap to not only jump themselves into podium position, but into second place and with a real shot of claiming the CrossFit Games Championship and the Affiliate Cup here in 2024. 529 points for Raw Iron, CrossFit, Mayhem, Thunder. They are in first place. Peak 360 right behind. And then CrossFit Torian holding on to that final podium spot. There's never been an Oceanic team on the podium. We could have two. Our final event, the Beasts of Burden. We got a lot of weight out there, Annie.
Yes, we do. We have a 120-foot snail push at 720 pounds down the competition floor. Then these athletes will, in a male-female pair, do 80 deadlifts, and then they'll push that snail back down the floor. What are the steps for success in this? Number one, you got to push hard. I don't just lean on that snail. I mean, this is it. This is your last event at the CrossFit Games. You got to leave it all out there. And pull smart. You need to do short sets on that deadlift, something that you can recover from, because when you finish the deadlift, you still have a lot of work to do to get that snail back down the competition floor.
Down to the third member of our crew, Lauren Smith.
Flying Snail was the name of the event when this debuted in 2016, and in that individual field, there are 5 athletes out on the floor today that took part. The 2 strongest, they're both on Raw Iron. Jace Newbury and Cara Saunders. Read into that what you like.
Lauren, thank you very much. Raw Iron looking to capture a CrossFit Championship for Cara Saunders. It would be her first after finishing just 2 points out of a championship as an individual in 2017. Her Raw Iron team is in lane 5, Torian flanking in lane 4, Peak 360 in lane 6. CrossFit Mayhem was in a podium position prior to our last event. Team from Cookville has fallen out. They are now in 4th place. Now let's talk about Raw Iron, a bunch of loose kids from Australia. James Newbury, the second best individual in Australian CrossFit history behind Ricky Garrard. Sometimes people forget that. Con Porter, his best mate, started out this team. Peak 360 was put together when Noah Olson decided to go team this year. Lena Richter from CrossFit Oslo Navy Blue was podium 3 straight times. She was next on board. Then Tola Rapino and Matilda Garnis up front. And then you've got CrossFit Tori. This was Royce Dunn's super team from Australia because of injuries. Had to withdraw last year, so they came back together as a unit here in 2024 for one more crack at it. And they've got a chance at podium gold. The Beasts of Burden is our final test to determine the Affiliate Cup champion at the 2024 CrossFit Games. 12,600 pounds of weighted implements out on the floor for this test. Those snails are 720 pounds, and Annie, they're full of sand.
They're full of snails.
That would be a different issue. They're full of sand. If you push it, it doesn't gain momentum.
Right, exactly. And you can see that all those teams, their hands hit the snail, and it was like hitting a wall. A lot of teams have gotten a little momentum. Looks like CrossFit Invictus has a slight lead on all the other snails on the floor right now.
That's Mayhem pushing out front. Angelo DeChico.
Oh, you're right.
Working with Molly McGrandy, and that is a team that is in 4th place.
They need to make up some points, and you can tell they're trying to do that right here. See those short, choppy steps. If you ever pushed a really heavy sled, you know you've got to keep those steps short and choppy. to try to keep momentum, keep those feet moving.
Raw Iron needs a 4th place finish or better to guarantee themselves a CrossFit Championship. There are 4 people on the floor that have finished 2nd in the CrossFit Games in their careers. Cara Saunders, we mentioned, 2nd. She fell to TATUMI by 2 points in 2017. The other 3 are on Peak 360. Noah Olson individually in 2019. Lena Richter and Tomo Raquinho on teams in 2021, 22, and 23.
A lot of silvers on the floor right now. Emily Duroy waiting at the top of the deadlift for Con Porter. That's where the rep needs to be synchronized. CrossFit Mayhem, which had a huge stumble in the event before this earlier today, opened the door for Peak 360. They moved in. You can tell Mayhem's trying to get those points back that they lost this morning.
There's a 5-point gap between placings. So 44 points off the podium for Mayhem, 17 points out of the leader's jersey, and a gold medal for Peak 360. So Raw Iron has now pulled ahead of Mayhem. They were going rep for rep. We are about the halfway mark of the deadlifts here. You are accumulating 80 on each bar, and it's happening simultaneously. After the deadlifts, it's 1 more snail push down the floor for posterity.
And posterior chain. Posterity.
That's a t-shirt. Time to beat is 5 minutes and 43 seconds, set by Ocean State Surge. The next time after that is 6:19, set by CrossFit 11:28. Remember, 4th place or better guarantees Raw Iron a championship.
CrossFit Invictus uncomfortable right there. We saw it. Does not have the bid they would have liked. It's still in the top 10.
We're past 70 now. Final 10 reps for our leaders, Raw Iron and Mayhem. Lots of look at your podium. Mayhem just outside. It needs some help though. Peak 360 is trying to close the gap on that team there. Raw Iron Mayhem desperately trying to cling on to a CrossFit Games championship, and they're out in front.
And it's going to be a snail-to-snail race right now between Raw Iron and CrossFit Mayhem.
For Cara Saunders, it's a flashback to 2017.
It sure is.
Neck and neck at the line. Mayhem is pushing. Raw Iron is pushing. Keep in mind there's a little bit of a cushion. Raw Iron just needs to finish 4th or better. Mayhem has surged in front. Absolute legends in Australian CrossFit history, wearing the red leaders jerseys to the left.
Wow, Mayhem has got some momentum on that snail right now.
Zoe Jones and Sam Demeester, those short, choppy steps. Angelo DiCicco calling out the switch.
Is it going to be 2 Aussies or 2 American teams on that podium, Joel?
There's never been 2 non-American teams on the podium. There's never been an Oceanic team on the podium. Mayhem, DiCicco is choking his team on. Mayhem is going to come away with the event victory. Whether or not it puts him on the podium, still to be determined. But right behind, it's Raw Iron. For the first time ever, we'll have an Oceanic team on the podium. Raw Iron wins the Affiliate Cup. Cara Saunders goes out on top. CrossFitorian fighting to make it across in 3rd. And they come in 4th. So it's going to come down to some math. with Mayhem having grabbed all 100 points for the event win, because we also have to factor in the times from heat number 1. Tori is going to have to wait with bated breath.
Onto a finger blast right there, coming in for a finish. On the far end, you can see Einhorn struggling to finish that final little bit.
Torian officially 5:43, equal to Ocean State. They got him by a couple hundredths of a second. So Torian's going to finish in 4th in the event. We'll see what that does to the overall standings, with Mayhem having won this 7th and final event.
CrossFit Reignited struggling to get the snail that last little couple feet.
Heat 360 came in 7th as the emotion hits Tara Saunders, who posted this morning on Instagram that she told her daughter Scotty this would be her final CrossFit Games. Her daughter bursting into tears. Cara saying she's competing this week because she wants to go out on her own terms with her and her daughter, and so much more now on her mind. A champion in 2024.
Well, it was CrossFit Mayhem that took the early lead on that snail, and these were points that they needed to pick up because they lost in the earlier event today. But Raw Iron CrossFit was trying their hardest to not let them gain any of those points back. You can see Angelo DiChico there pushing that snail. They needed to make a bid to stay on the podium, and they did exactly that, with an event win and 5:20.51 on the Beasts of Burden. Just behind them, Raw Iron CrossFit securing the championship. And how about 8th Day CrossFit?
Yeah, an incredible run by 8th Day, a true affiliate team. Like they are regular people with normal jobs. They coach at the gym. They showed up and they're going to have a top 5 finish.
Against a lot of super teams, Joel, that's a very impressive performance from 8th Day CrossFit.
We'll tabulate the scores and have your announcement of a champion.